Good evening and welcome to Next Gen Season 18. This is the Paramax TCV8 League, live from Zolder for round number 3. As the cars all file out of the pit lane for this 5-minute qualifying session. So, Zolder, it's been around since 1963, and it was a slightly different circuit to what it is now, but the general layout has stayed the same. Just a few chicanes have been added since its build. It's 2.492 miles long, and it's got an absolute cracking set of corners to encourage the racing. We have 12 drivers. We have Iceman LUFC in the BMW, we have AMH in the Astra, we have Cam in the BMW, Traumatic Dave, he is in the Mercedes, Shadowstalker in the Mercedes, Bruce in the Mercedes, Randy Matz BMW, DY House BMW, Johnny, otherwise known as Beam Flicker, in the Astra, Full Fish in the Mercedes, Les in the BMW, and Jack in the Astra. The current points tally, give you the top 10. Les leads the championship on 43 points, Vass on 31. Vass not here tonight. Iceman was joint on 31 points. Cam has 29, AMH 27. Jack is on 21. Full Fish on 20. DY House on 17. Bruce Lee Harding also on 17. And Randy Matt rounds at the top 10 on 16 points. After Silverstone National. And there is Iceman. Just going through tournament box, down towards Boulderberg box, the hairpin right. I don't know who's out before him, it's AMH. Iceman just lights the wheels up. Let's go on board with the BMW man for a lap of Zolder. So we head up towards Jackie X Bocht. So up to the line, we've got a minute 20 remaining, so everyone should get one more lap in. And we're taking us up with a 140.3, 141.6 for Iceman, but we're coming up to Eerst. Length line at apex, clipped the curb, back end a bit loose there for Iceman, didn't quite help him on the exit to get the traction down. Into Sterenmark Bocht, turn 2, third gear, let it roll through, pick up the throttle again and go flat through the canal Bocht. Up to Lucien Bianchi Bocht, gonna go down a gear, get the car turned in, use a bit of the curb, gotta be careful not to run wide. As you then head down towards the Klein chicane. This you've got to be careful on because the car can bobble around at the Klein chicane. Hit the brakes as late as you dare. Use as much curb as you dare. But you've got to be careful because of the track limits as well. Over Sacrament Shelling and through Butte and into the Villeneuve chicane. A really tight 3-bar chicane effectively. Through Tulliver Box, which should be flat, is flat. Up over the crest, down towards Boulderberg Box. Again, just a hairpin right. Iceman a little bit late on the brakes, just a bit deep into there, didn't quite square it up either. All the way up, going to hit the brakes for Jackie X box at the sign. Looking left, looking right. I think AMH abandoned his second lap. That's a lap of Zolder on board with Iceman, the man who's third in the championship. Crosses the line, puts in a 140.9. Jack, Team 53, so not in the Astra. Goes quick as a 39.9 from Jack. Bruce puts in a 40.3. AMH going downwards now. Full Fish a 140.2. So the front wheel drives are fighting back against the rears. As others, there goes Rally Matt. He puts it 8th on the grid. Johnny comes across the line. Doesn't go any quicker. D Whitehouse, we'll find out in a minute. So qualifying is over. Jack takes pole position from Full Fish. Then we have AMH and Bruce Lee Harding on row 2. Row 3, Iceman and Les. Row 4, Cam and Rally Matt. Row 5, Traumatic Dave and Shadow Stalker. Row 6 will be D Whitehouse 7, who's put in a 44.2 at the end of the session. And Beam Flicker, otherwise known as Johnny, will join him on the 6th and final row for tonight's race. It's going to be a great race, I think. As we sink in, we have the 3 red lights for the 3rd time this season. We are green and Zolder. Who's got the best getaway? That's the question. It looks like it's going to be Full Fish, but Jack alongside, heading up towards the first corner. Second corner, Full Fish. Has he got the move sorted? Hasn't. Jack still side there, jostling for position for the first place. Full Fish finally gets the move sorted though. Good start from Cam and Les. Bruce now in 5th. AMH has gone backwards so far. It looks like it's a clean getaway so far from everyone. 3.1 covering the field after the first sector. Into the Klein chicane. Everyone just being a bit careful. AMH looking for a move on Bruce. Someone's gone round. That is D Whitehouse, who's gone round at the Klein chicane. It's possibly a bit too much curve. Iceman's managed to get past AMH, and then there are 3 white coming to the field on chicane. Bruce overtaken by Iceman. AMH was looking on the outside, couldn't quite get through, but Bruce now looking down the inside through Tullerman box. Oh, and Bruce not very happy, I don't think, with that. Got a bit cut off. Either that or he had to have a slowdown penalty. Dave right on the back of Rally Mats, and looks like Cam is having a go here at Jack as they go into Jackie Xbox. Nothing happening there. Oh, good move there from Bruce Lee Harding down the inside of Jackie Xbox. Down the inside of AMH, catching him off guard. Rally Matt under fire from Traumatic Dave in the moment, heading up towards Erst. He's just looking for that move that's going to send him through. Full Fish has managed to pull a 1-second gap so far though, which is good news for him. Cars filter through. River Sacrament shelling. Full Fish losing half his gap now as they head into the Vilna chicane. Down towards the back end of the circuit now. Jack unable to have a look at Full Fish at the moment, just too far behind, but he's not really under attack yet from Cam. When I say that, Cam's got a good exit out of that hairpin right. He's not going to have a look into Jackie X box though. As D Whitehouse now picks up a track limits penalty in the process. Has been overtaken and he's going backwards at the moment. That is Matt and Traumatic Dave. That'll look like a bit of contact causing that. Dave carries on. Matt now down in 11th. That looked to me like there was a bit of contact between Dave and Rally Matt. And Jack now has a track limits penalty, but he is within reach of 4Fish. And Iceman's gone off that. He's gone off at the Klein chicane. The number 75 BMW off of the Klein chicane. He's now down to 11th place. So Les is chasing after Bruce Lee Hunting for a top 4 spot, whilst the top 3 are now looking to fight over that lead. Dramatic Dave is on the back of Johnny here. And Dave unable to look for a move yet. But he's not too far away from the Astra. He could be looking at one in the next lap or two. Or he could be looking now down the inside. Contact, more contact there. That move was never on. The door was never going to be that open for Dave to just waltz through that one. He's got to be patient. He's got the speed. He just needs to be patient with this now. Let Johnny make the mistake and capitalise on that. CMH now picks up a penalty of some degree. And Dave has now lost a bit of time to Johnny out of that chicane as well. Iceman has got past Rally Matt to break back into the top 10. Meanwhile, at the front, 1 second covers the top 3. And they're all in different vehicles. And this time, Jack defending into Jackie X box because he feels under threat from Cam. Number 13 machine. He crossed the line. And Jack peels in behind Cam there, so maybe he had to slow down, or maybe he's just thinking, let Cam go up and fight 4Fish and try and claim the spoils, as 4Fish now has a penalty to his name. Les, currently in 5th, isn't catching Bruce at all at the moment. Actually, in retrospect, he's really just losing time to the BMW, to the Mercedes in front. A bit of a wiggle. Meanwhile, this time Traumatic Dave down the inside through Bianchi box. And Johnny runs wide in the end, so Dave through into 7th place for now. And just behind, Shadowstalker being overtaken by Iceman. Oh, and a bit of a late break from Shadowstalker. Iceman, I think he's gone round. Nope, he has managed to continue. He's down to 11th though. Bit of a late braking move there from Shadowstalker. I think he's going to let him through. Yes, he is. Good sportsmanship there. I think Shadowstalker realised that move probably a bit too late, really, to be making. Well, AMH is nearing the back of NXTGEN Les as they head into the final chicane, and Cam is all over. So we look to the inside. We're going to dive to the inside on board with the BMW. Back to the trackside. Oh, it's all got a bit squirrely with Full Fish. Full Fish looking for a switch back now. He's on the outside for the second corner. This is exactly what Jack needs. These two to fight. You see Full Fish now looking for immediately back for a gap to try and get past the BMW. I don't think it's going to work though, as they head towards Lucy and Bianchi blocked. Top four all have penalties to their names. One Full Fish gets dragged off slightly by the gravel. He clips. And he's feeling the need to go defensive because Jack is alongside. Jack is through. Oh, that looked like a heavy landing for the Mercedes as well. I wonder how much curb he just took through the Klein chicane. But now, Jack is on the back of the BMW going through the Villeneuve chicane. This is lap 6 of 12. And this is for the lead of the race. Down the hill. And Jack round the outside. That's a beautiful move from the Astra. Round the outside, but here comes Cam right back at him through Jackie Xbox. Can he complete the move? We side by side with the BMW's power should get him on the straight up towards Erst. There we go, the advantage. All contact between the two into the first corner. Full Fish back into the lead. Jack makes sure he doesn't gain from that. A bit of contact between Jack and Cam, and it's going to cost Jack a bit of time, and Bruce closes in to within 3 seconds of the Astra. I don't really know what happened to Jack. I don't know whether he locked the front brakes up or that's D. Whitehouse who spun it to the inside of Lucy and Bianchi. He's really having a bad day in that BMW. As Jack attacks that chicane with all his might. AMH has got past Les in the meantime. And Iceman is gradually creeping up to the back of Johnny. Well, apparently I've been disconnected from the session, which is good news. I guess we'll see if we can try and rejoin a minute. That was a bit not ideal. Slight technical issue. Right, we're back. We're on to lap 8 then. Jack is leading as the game sinks. Okay, are we back? The answer is yes, we are. Right, here we go. So we're down to 10 cars, which means D. Whitehouse has retired from this race. Cam currently leads. Obviously, we've missed the fight, but Cam leads from Fourfish. Then it's Jack TM53 Synopsis in third. AMH fourth. We've lost Bruce Lee Harding, so I think Bruce Lee Harding has also disconnected. Right, looking at the gaps, Fourfish half a second behind. I think that's a shame for Bruce Lee Harding. He's running really well. That's Cam wide. That's Cam wide through Lucy and Bianchi Box. Fourfish is back through into the lead. Here on lap 9 of 12. Going back through the list, Iceman has got ahead of Johnny. Rally Matt is in 9th, Chaz Talker in 10th. To watch Cam versus Fourfish, but we do have an interesting battle between Johnny, Rally Matt and Traumatic Dave, who's down to 9th now. Through Tournament Bot. Up towards the final sector of the course. Into Boulderberg Box. And towards Jochen Ring Box we go. And it's going to be side-by-side action into Erst. And Fourfish not giving any inch at all. He is squeezing the door shut on Cam everywhere possible. Cam's going to have to fight hard now for this victory. All depending on what sort of penalties. They're on equal penalties. Jack has 4 seconds, AMH has 5. Johnny with 6 seconds. On board with Cam as we head up toward the Villeneuve chicane. Down the inside we go. Oh, lovely stuff from Fourfish. Great defensive driving so far. Back on board with Cam through Tournament Box. And down towards Boulderberg Box. And Fourfish immediately goes to cover the line. But Cam somehow gets it down the inside. Cam is through into the lead once again. It's side-by-side action between Les and AMH. Les getting through. Looks like Fourfish can't retaliate yet to Cam. He's got a bit of work to do now. Les has that orange Astra all over his rear end on the penultimate lap as they go through Lucy and Bianchi Box. He thinks about a move into the Klein chicane, thinks better of it. Meanwhile, Johnny's still ahead of Rally Matt at this stage, but back with Les and AMH. Fourfish is now starting to close the gap to Cam. Although Jack's got through, Fourfish I think has made a mistake because he's now 2.3 behind the leader. So Jack has can he get 1 second back on the BMW? I think it's a hard task for him to do, but as always in the TCV8 league, you just never know. There's Johnny, he's got Matt right behind him. It's a good start actually from Jack for the start of the lap. He's got it down to 0.6 of a second. Half a second between the top two. We're going to have a little look. Remember, Jack's got 4 seconds worth of penalties, but the penalties can be appealed if the drivers believe they did not deserve them. Les has gone back behind AMH. Looks like a mistake from him. Has cost him that top 4 place. We're going to continue to watch this top battle because if Jack thinks is going to appeal his penalties, although it looks like he's got another slowdown penalty heading into the Villeneuve chicane, he's going to lose all his momentum. And that, I'm afraid, pretty much all but seals it for the lead of this race. Matt now about 9/10 to a second now behind Johnny as the leaders head through Boulderberg box into Jochen box and up towards Jackie X box. So they hit the brakes into Jackie X box. It's been a crazy race, but Cam 1, 2, 3 days comes out on top. He wins here at Zolder, followed by Jack, followed by Fourfish, who will claim second for now. Provisionally, Jack is in third. AMH comes home in fourth. Les will boost his chance up into third place because of the penalties. Iceman, LUFC, it's a difficult race, but he's going to get 6th place, and not a bad place to finish. It's good, decent points to have on the board. Beam Flicker, our full guy mascot, he's going to come home in 7th place. Rally Matt will be now in 7th. Traumatic Dave 8th because of the penalties that Johnny has. And it will be Shadowstalker who rounds out our finishers in 10th place. Bruce Lee Harding, I believe, got disconnected. And I think DUI House either got disconnected or retired from the race. So your provisional results from Zolder are Cam 1, 2, 3, Diz, Fourfish in second, Les third, Jack fourth, AMH is in fifth, Iceman 6th, Rally Matt 7th, Traumatic Dave is in 8th, Beam Flicker 9th, and Shadowstalker rounds us out in 10th place. So, the big question is, where are we next week? Well, next week we head to Zhuhai for the TCV8 League, and everyone will be driving the BMW 320i touring car, so everyone in that Beamer could be an interesting race to have. But the show's not over just yet. You can view my point of view of the Renault Clio Cup, again sponsored by Powermaxed. Next up on the channel in about 10 minutes time, so if you want, stay tuned for that. Otherwise, join us next week for more TCV8 action. But from myself and the guys here, thank you to Powermax for sponsoring the league, and thank you guys for watching tonight. But for myself and everyone here, good night.